to have him with us today, and surely that I am sure that his lecture will provide valuable insights to all participants, especially who are working on aeroponics and is completely differ from whatever the tropical crops and subtropical crops. So he has worked in temperate hill stations. So that his lectures really should be useful for our participants. So with his words, I invited Dr. Paresh Chagunde to kindly deliver your lecture. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Selva, sir. I can start, sir, now?
Yeah, you can start. You can share your slide.
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Just wait.
So go to the PowerPoint.
Okay. So,
Please continue.
yeah. Good afternoon, dear training participants. Today, for the next 1 hour, you will be listening to me on the quality potato seed production through high-tech technologies. Can anyone tell this pictograph from where it is? Any guess? Particularly location? My slides visible, right, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Visible.
Okay. So I will tell this is the beautiful scenery of Khufri, which is 30 kilometers away from Shimla. So let me introduce myself, Paresh Chaukhande, senior scientist working at Division of Vegetable Science here in New Delhi. Since last 1 year, I am associated with this IRI. Earlier to that, I have worked 6 years at CPRI Shimla. Prior to that, I worked at IIBR Varanasi. So I have finished my years of journey in ICR. So I have good experience with the potato and particularly simulation models, production technologies, and development of apps, and some high throughput technologies through analytical skills, which I have gained during my tenure at CPRI. So it is very interesting to know the origin of this crop and its future aspects, since you have been studying protected cultivations, and among protected cultivation there are lots of crops, and potato is also one of the important crops looking at the today's context, since it is India is producing 60 million tons of potato from an area of 2.18 million hectare. So it is rightly called as king of vegetables. And with the inception of CPRI in 1949, please remember that CPRI established in 1949, and we are just 2 years junior to the Independence Day of India. So since 1949 to till 2026, huge ups and downs and lots of improvements has been taken place in this very important commodity. So as the importance of this crop is very important, so aligning to that, the origin and domestication, and although the preliminary aspects of potato is quite interesting. So we will deal one by one, and I will take the questions at the end of this lecture. If you have some important point to note, you can drop a message in the text. So potato, it's many of the reported literature 8,000 to 10,000 years ago by the inhabitants of Andes and in South America. In the subsequent slide, I will show you the photographs where the exact place of origin has been taken place, and it mostly happens in the elevation of 4,000 meters, 3,800 to 4,800 meters above mean sea level. So what happened at this level, you can found a variety of species which are now being very much important role in breeding program, particularly for abiotic stress tolerance and for nutritional trait improvement. So the interesting point to note that Portuguese merchant, the sailors, which during that crisis, they eat potato as a source of vitamin C and to avoid the scurvy diseases. So it is an excellent source of vitamin C. Coming to India, this cultivation it happens in Dehradun. Later on in Shimla in 1828, see, very old crop. it is oftenly said that science of plant pathology, the science of plant pathology emerged from potato disease, and the very happening cause of that was the late blight of potato. You might be aware of that. Due to late blight of potato, Irish famine, around 1 million people shifted to America, and Luther King is one of the survivor of that. So potato, it comes to India to via Spanish traders in the 17th, and then it comes to India in 19th century. So it is rightly called the hidden treasure. It is a new world crop, as I have told that it is South American origin. So that's why it's called new world crop. Besides, is the third most important food crops. In many literature, it is fourth most important food crop also. Uh, before potato, the first comes is the rice, then wheat, sometimes maize, and then potato. What happens? Why it is third most important food crop? Because most of the part of the maize, it will goes to animal feed, but potato is a such commodity, its entire consumption is goes to humans. So that's why it is sometimes it is falling in the third ranking. It is wholesome food, obviously. It has a high photosynthetic efficiency, and it is food for future. For the knowledge of these participants, I would like to inform you that 2008 was declared an International Year of Potato by Food and Agriculture Organization. That's why it is called as the food for the future. On the right side, you can see some of the very interesting facts of potato about its nutritional qualities and what is its importance, elevation, and how much is the varietal wealth of our world as well as our, India. It will come in subsequent slides. So very important points from students and from researchers' perspective about its taxonomy, its morphology, and its nutritional profiling. Uh, it belongs to Solanaceae family, nightshade family. Around 4,000 species exist in that, and it comes under the Solanum tuberosum. And the key point to be noticed here that it is an autotetraploid. Very important point. It is an autotetraploid, means 4 copies of chromosome exist. So, and potato is a highly heterozygous crop. Beside, it is a vegetally propagated crop. So that's why you are listening this lecture from the perspective, if you want to develop some skills for developing, for finding some techniques for future scales or aeroponics or net house or tissue culture. You have to important point is remember that potato is multiplied vegetatively. This is the important point. You can see in the middle the potato plants, the mother tuber. From mother tuber, it comes the lateral stem first, the compound leaf. Then there are berries you can see, fruit, small berries, flowers, inflorescence, terminal inflorescence. You can observe white as well as blue color flower in potato. And from one mother tuber, you can see in the center of the slide around 3. Uh, so from one mother tuber, 4 to 6 tubers you can get. So the multiplication rate, what I am telling is the multiplication rate. If you plant one mother tuber, you will get 4 to 6 tubers. So this is the multiplication rate of potato in case of conventional system. On the extreme right side, you can see the nutrient profiling. Potato, it contains 80% moisture, very important, 80% moisture and 20% dry matter. Among 20% dry matter, 80% of that is the starch, carbohydrates, then protein, vitamin C, as I told you earlier, that it around 13 milligram of vitamin C, riboflavin, thiamine, niacin, iron, and micronutrients. Considering the today's scenario of Indian health amongst particularly women and children, the condition of anemia is getting severe. So, being a staple food crop of our country, the biofortification is very encouraging in this crop due to its a high content of iron as well as zinc. So, CPRI has developed varieties of chain for meeting this nutrient requirement for its population. So we have seen the taxonomy, the morphology, as well as the nutrient profiling of this crop. Moving to the next slide, as I told, this is the on the extreme left. You can see the center of origin of potato, which is marked as A figure, and B figure is the elevation, which I told that approx of 4,000 meter above elevation is the origin of this center potato crop. So from this, you can see and so of American map on of the left side from the circle dot. This is the place where this crop has moved to every part of the globe. So in today's context, more than 180 countries are growing potatoes. Out of 200 countries, more than 180 countries. So it's a significant figure to note down. And Lake Titicaca, Peru, which is a 4,000-meter elevation, is the center of origin of potato, where maximum species has seen or noted down. So potato adoption, very interesting to know that since it's the Andean originate crop, so potato adopted initially to short day condition. At equatorial origin makes potato initially short day dependent for tuberization. Uh, Students and participants, I am happy to inform you that it takes around 150 years of breeding efforts to bring potato to long day conditions. Those who are interested, yeah, they can pin down this and note down this Klusterman reference for reading this paper. It's a very interesting paper and very systematically mentioned that how the mutation in the tuber formation regulator gene, which occur in different combination in modern potato cultivar, how it then it developed to early variety, medium variety, and late varieties. If you plant potato by October, the early variety will give you tubers in 70 days, medium to variety give in 90 days, and late variety give late variety potato will come to harvest at 120 days. Okay. So this is the categorization of the variety and the interesting paper written by Klosterman and co-workers, which is published in Nature journals for further enhancing the knowledge. And in the end, you can see some wild species, how the heterozygous crops develop, some primitive cultivated species, and so how the modern cultivars have been developed. So this is the potato adoption. Coming to the global status of the crop, China, of course, being the leading producer of potato, touching 100 million tons of production in 2030 likely, followed by India. We are producing 60 million ton. No other vegetable commodities nearby to this crop from an area of 2.18 million hectares, followed by Russia, Ukraine, and America. So this is the important point to note that in the globe, 48% crop contribution is given by Asian country, especially China and India. So the world food consumption per year for this important crop such as potato, you can see 238 million tons. 238 million tons is a potato consumed globally, followed by maize, rice, and wheat. Of course, it is the if it comes to vegetables, it is the first most commodity. And the calories produced per liter of water, according to International Year of Potato, which is celebrated by FAO in 2008, it shows 5.5 calories liter produced by per liter of water. So why there is need for, we have seen the global background, the production, the adaptation, the taxonomy, morphology. So why there is need for potato research in India? Since this is a Europe and American origin crop where it is mostly grown during summer season. Summer seasons means which will start in April. If you look at in the hills of India, hills, the crop is plant right now. This is the most suitable stage to to plant potato in hilly regions of India, where the area is 6%. So in hilly region, the crop at this stage, today's 12th of March, 11th of March, and now it's the right time to take the potato and keep it for cheating. Cheating means the eye of the potato, which emerge after the if you bring it from cold store. So coming to our slide, why there is need for potato research in India? It is basically winter season crop, 4-month crop. It will start from October and it will harvest by the Feb end or March first week. And day night temperature for this crop is a night temperature. If it is 10 to 15 degree, it is 15 degree. It is good for tuberization. And it is short day crop in India. Photo period is 10 hours per day, and post harvest handling becomes difficult if temperature becomes high. So ultimately, it leads to low yields, less dry matter, more reducing sugar. As compared to European varieties, they are high yield, high dry matter, and low reducing sugar. The important point to recall here back, the advantage of growing potato in India is due to the latitudinal advantages in hills as matching with the European or American countries. So mostly in the initial days, European varieties which we used to cultivate, where it's a long day type, And there is an accumulation of viral diseases. Since I told it is a vestige propagated crop, so whatever the diseases carried by the mother tuber, it will pass on to their subsequent progenies. And physiological limitation of storage and utilization in hot and humid summers, since in hills the crop is grown and we can't, due to bulky nature. Bulky means, as I told, 80% moisture is there in the commodity, so it is become bulky. If you take a one that gunny bag of potato which contains 50 kg potatoes, so carrying such commodity on the back of labor, it becomes very tedious. So transportation and all is difficult. And initially we have varieties, old varieties, Grape Defense, which you have seen in textbooks or literature, Great Scott, Up to Date, Magnum Bonum. Uh, these are the earlier varieties. So this is the need for potato research in India. Moving to next slide, that organization started in 1935, CPRI established in 1949 at Patna, Bihar. Then it moved to Shimla in 1956. The reason for moving to Shimla is the flowering tendency. At Khufri, it's very convenient. So making of crosses and setting seed and forming tubers is very easier. So that's why from Patna, it moved to Shimla in 1956. So first indigenous variety of this crop is in 1958. Seed plot technique, which we will discuss in coming slide, is very, very revolutionary techniques given in 1960 by Dr. Ramanujan and co-workers. That techniques has very important. If you ask me to list out 5 most significant contributions, then I will give this technique as the first priority. And it has revolutionized the production of seeds in plains. Earlier, it happens to be takes place only in hills. So nuclear seed production started in Fagun 1963, and the seed production stations. I am happy to inform you that at present, since this is a very important commodity from Indians' perspective and to every farmer's and individual household, there are 8 stations of potato research working under the umbrella of CPRI Shimla. The first one is at Kufri, second is at Jalandhar, third one is at Modipuram. Modipuram you can consider the second since large area, then Jalandhar, Patna in Bihar, then Gwalior in Madhya Pradesh, Ooty in Tamil Nadu, Shillong in Meghalaya. So pan-India occurrence of this institute regional sessions is helping the local demand as well as the challenges faced by these crops, which we'll discuss. So this is the potato research in India under the umbrella, under the aegis of CPRI Shimla. So potato in Indian agriculture, as I told, potato contributed around 2.48 of the total agriculture output from an area of total crop area. And it's compared to the rice and wheat. And potato contributes around 4 times more than both wheat and paddy from per unit area to national economy and agriculture subsector. So this is the pictograph, some old pictographs of local markets and the farming area of Agra, which is the hub of potato in Uttar Pradesh. So this map shows this slide depicts what are the major, you can see the potato growing areas in Himalayas, Plateau region. Remember, very important point, around 90% of the potato area falls in the plains regions of India. Out of that plains region, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal and Bihar contributed more than 50% of production. In plateau, it is 4%, and hills, it is 6%. Hills areas, mostly Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, the northeastern hills region, and plateau areas, you can see the Karnataka, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, this falls under the plateau regions. And some near to the South Indian hills also, where our Ooty station is located. So the organization involved in seed production, you can see nuclear seed is produced by CPRI, breeder seed also is CPRI. Foundation seed we are giving to State Department plus National Seed Corporation on the demands or the indent put up by them to multiply the seed. Then certified seed is a state that will go into the hands of State Department and State Seed Corporation, cooperative societies, and progressive seed growers. These are the some bodies which are dealing with certified seed. So the role of CPR is producing nuclear seed of good quality, then handing and subsequent generation hand over to the subsequent channels of producing breeder seed, foundation seed, and certified seed. So a very important slide to note, which we are talking, which we are listening to this lecture, that why there is a need for quality seed potato production and how it can happen in this scenario. So if you see the area and the seed rate, if you see the area and the seed rate, area is 2.18 and seed is 2.5. If you multiply these first two columns, you will get 25. You will get 54 lakh tons. Okay. This is the national seed requirement of our country, 54 lakh ton. But in actual, the production and the supply is the gap. And the gap you can see in the from last third column, 49 lakh tons. So there is a huge scope for developing quality potato seed production through high-tech technologies. So that's why there is a opportunity to look out into this crop for subsequent remuneration. So these are the future target. On the left, you can see 2025 where we are and where we has to go. As your training title is under Viksit Bharat. So 2047, somebody asked what will be the area and what will be the seed production and potato production. So these slides will give the answer to that questions. So in as a Amrit Kal, we have to set the target of producing around 120 million ton of potato production from an area of around 3.5 to 3.6 million hectare with a productivity of 34. 34 is the less productivity as compared to developed nations such as Netherlands and most of the southern European nations, which are having high productivity despite low areas. So this is the next slide is the projection of seed requirement of the country. Present we are 2.2 up to 3.6 million hectare will be the area under 2050 and the seed requirement will be around 10.9 million tons. So what is the problem associated with hill grown seed? As I discussed earlier, that in hills the seed production takes place. The hill seed is of nitrogen, is not of right physiological age for use in plains. Of course, needless to say, it carries the soil and tuber-borne diseases which is found in plains. Long distance transports. Imagine somebody is sitting in Varanasi or in central UP, and he wants to seed from Leh Ladakh. Earlier, Leh Ladakh to be the region. Now it is also region of potato seed. So if somebody sends the required seed from Leh Ladakh or Shimla to eastern UP, it will take a lot of time to reach to those places. So long distance transport is the issue, is the major concern, and area and hills is insufficient for seed production. As we are more mouth to be feed in the coming generation, so the hilly area is not up to that marks to fulfill our entire requirement for seed productions. What should be the ideal potato seed? It should be a proper size of 40 to 60 gram, and it should be free from all viral diseases. Potatoes, I would like to inform you that potato contains number of viruses which is carried by vector aphids. A series of viruses: potato virus S, potato virus A, potato virus X, potato virus Y, potato leaf roll virus, and number of viruses are infected. So that's why the mother tuber, it should be healthy. I am telling again and again, it should be healthy. Then only we can do the successful seed productions. Because if it get infected at any point of stage, then the seed get generated and our entire efforts will go into ruin. So it should not be grown in areas where warts, cyst nematode, and other quarantine diseases are endemic. It should be free from soil and tuber-borne diseases or carry with them permissibility and should be of right physiological age. So why potato is an issue? As I told, potato crop is multiplying vegetatively using tuber as a seed. It gets degenerated due to viral diseases very fast, necessitating the replacement of seed every year or after 2 years. And potato seed is bulky, 80% moisture, and rate of multiplication is slow. Recall the first slides where I have shown the center slide. If you plant one mother tuber, you will get 4 to 5 or 5 to 6 tubers. And around half of the cultivation cost, means 40 to 50% of the cost of cultivation comes from seed. So that's why potato seed is a major issue. So this poses a challenge to seed production and seed supplying agencies. So the very important technique is seed plot techniques developed by Pushkar Nath and his co-workers in 1960. Breeder seed production by special and technology for farmers field. So what is these seed plot techniques? So this diagram you will find in every literature or any research papers. When it comes to the seed potato production, I told that the major viruses due to aphids are curtailed. If we going to plant potato where the aphid population has less at a certain juncture of time, that is the less aphid infestation period. So if you plant, as the diagram is showing, if you plant the crop by the by the early October, the and do harm cutting as is shown in the aphid period. If you do harm cutting when the population is less than 20 aphid per 100 compound leaf, this is the threshold level. So the seed will not get infected due to these viruses. So that's why this is the seed plot techniques mainly developed in the context of subtropics for producing healthy seeds. So this is the important point. The main seed crop started in October, January, and earlier seed production is for January, April. So in the this techniques is mainly for the subtropics, so as to avoid the aphid infestation period. And the critical level of that aphid period is the critical level or the threshold level, better to say, the threshold level, if it reaches to 20 aphid per 100 compound leaf, what the farmers or what the entrepreneurs or what the agencies will do, they will do harm cutting. Harm cutting is nothing, just the cutting the above ground portion of potato that plant, so as the you can remove the aphid population, and the other very side of that harm cutting is the skin will get mature and it will remain of good quality. So these are the studies developed by the stations located at different pan-Indian occupants regarding the very important vector of potato viruses. You can see the aphids on the backside of the leaves, and the on the x-axis you can see the very important regions of Punjab, UP, and Western UP and Tarai regions. So if you see the first week as a day, first week of December as an appearance date, the critical time is the fourth week of December. You should do the harm cutting. So likewise, it is mentioned for the subsequent regions of the nations for arrival, appearance, and buildup of aphids in the Indo-Gangetic plain, which is a very, very important region of potato productions. So coming to the components of the seed plot technique, disease-free. These are the seed disease-free seeds of located in the major key zones of India, such as Bihar and West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, northwestern zones. So we have optimized the standard dehalming date, harvest date, and planting date accordingly. So the key components of seed plot technique is that you get a healthy, you need a healthy seed, pre-sprouted seed prior to planting, plain low aphid and soil-borne disease atom heal, and hot weather cultivation, crop rotation. Of course, these are some agronomical intervention then one must should look into while following seed plot technique. Cold storage in plains and country stores in hills, as since potato is a 4-month crop, then after 4 months it will go to cold storage. So role of cold storage is also very, very important after the harvest of potato. Then harvesting, disciplinary and grading is also, as after harvest, since it is a heterozygous crop, you will get tubers of all sizes. But the commercial cultivars, we have categorized the commercial cultivars into this that small seed and medium seed and large seed, that is of non-marketable stages. And as I told that you have to deharm the crop before 20 aphids per 100 compound leaf, then regular spray of fungicide and insecticide, and remove off-type volunteer plants. There is an issue of volunteer plants also. Suppose if you are planning a variety A and previous year there was a variety X, so variety X may germinate in the field, so you have to remove that variety X. That is nothing but the volunteer plant removal. So suitability of region for seed productions, on the extreme left you can see the states with their zones and type of seed and some remarks. So if you look into the eastern India, particularly Odisha, eastern MP, West Bengal, there is a high population of aphids during the seed multiplication stage. And if you come down below to that, plateau regions of Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, there is a high population of aphids and brown rot incidents. And coming to Tamil Nadu, there is a presence of cyst nematode and brown rot has been reported by the researchers, scholars. So this is the impactful slide. What this technology has done, you can clear cut see that before 1917, after 1970, how much the seed plot technique has revolutionized potato seed in plants and before 1970. So around you can see around 80 to 90% of the region after 1970 has adopted this technique. This is the most gain of maximum gain from this technology. So this is the impact of seed technology, decentralization of potato breeding from hills to plains, obviously, enabling development of varieties suited to different agroclimatic regions of the country. Area under seed production has manifold increased by 12 folds, and availability of potato seed in hills in plain at a right physiological state, and the saving of amount 484 million annual seed import. So as we discussed earlier, what is the critical aphid level observed in that particular window, crop growth window, suitable, which is for that. Prior to that, we used to do deharming at Jalandhar and at Modipuram. So this is the potato seed production under low cost temporary net house. So 40 mesh size is suitable to avoid these aphid vectors. And if you plan to go for 1 hectare area, approx 20 lakhs investment is there, and the life of that temporary net is 8 to 10 years. So this is very, very important that if somebody wants to do seed potato production by optimizing these low cost net house, if you invest around 20 lakhs for 8 to 10 years, you will get a good return with the help of this generation of good quality seeds. Quality potato seed production under low cost net house at farmers field. These are some of the pictographs and their success stories, you can say. If somebody invest this much amount for XYZ area, then this is the more expenditure and expenses occurs to takes place the quality seed production. So this is the some of the studies, not that much useful for you people. So this is some of the scientific studies for sucking insect space observed at our stations in the crop growth window of 4 months. This is the data of 2017-2018 with the arrival of white flies. White flies also one of the vectors of carriers of diseases of potato. And this is the Myzus persicki study carried out at Modipuram. Coming to the seed supply systems in India, formal seed supply system, the nucleus and breeder seeds, they're done dealing by CPRI, multiplying in F1 and F2 certified seeds, and then handing over to state seed corporations. This is the informal systems, unorganized system, and organized system. These are the stages of seed productions for the in initial year. For the knowledge of the students as well as participants, it takes around 10, I may say here, it takes around 12 years to develop a potato variety, 12 years through conventional approaches. So in the first year, nucleus seed has produced by the breeding organization. In second and third year, pre-breeder seed, they followed by breeder seed, then foundation seed and certified seed. So potato breeder seed production through two approaches we can do: conventional system, seed plot technique we discussed. Now we will focus on our high-tech seed production system. What are those? What are the challenges? How it can be done? And what is the beauty of this high-tech system compared to conventional system? So conventional method, there will be it's a four-stage approach. Stage one is the clonal field multiplication. Followed by stage two is the stage two. We will go with some roguing bulk harvest. Followed by stage is the bulk multiplication, and stage four production of breeder seed at recommended spacing. And it's a timely monitoring, and roguing is the very important aspect for the quality seed production. So what are the limitation of conventional system? Low rate of multiplication, of course. If you put one mother tuber, you'll get 4 to 6 tubers. And the development of, it's a very challenging, development of 100% healthy seed stock from infected matter is not at all possible. because since it is a vertically propagated crop, any infestation of viruses will lead to complete regeneration of this crop. So several field multiplication of initial disease-free material, it will take 10 years it will take. So what are these high-tech seed production system? It's a micro plant-based seed production system, microtuber-based seed production system, aeroponics-based seed production, and apical rooted cutting, which is shortly known as ARC. Out of these four, ARC and aeroponics is having some good, not good, it's highly remunerative, I must say here. Aeroponic system is widely adopted by around, I can say in today's context, around 20 companies are doing aeroponic seed productions in Punjab, Haryana, Western UP, Gujarat, the major quality seed producing areas of the our India. So how micropropagation is done in, maybe you have earlier listened how micropropagation is done in case of potato. We have to check healthy plants, noodles cuttings, we will put in vitro, then we'll do mass multiplication, sprouted tubers, and in vitro it can be, in vitro it is grown for the some next stage. So this is the meristem technique for important for virus elimination. That potato tuber, that shoot tip culture we will do for virus test. Through thermotherapy or meristem culture, we can eliminate the virus at very initial stages. As you can see on the extreme right side, how the meristem tip culture through test tubes grows sequentially step by step. And through ELISA is one technique of virus indexing. ELISA is nothing but enzyme link immunosorbent assay, is a virus indexing testing adopted in potato apart from RT-PCR, qRT-PCR for the elimination of viruses and successful multiplication of potato seed. So this is a micro plant-based seed production system. You can see micro plants in the test tubes with 80 to 90% survival rate and 8 to 12 millitubers per plants. And G1, G0, G1, G2, these are the stages of seed production under the micro plant-based, which is initially started from tissue culture techniques. So breeder seed, you can see at the corner, that much seed, quality seed can be produced through this approach. So this is another photographs, in-depth photographs, how the microplants and this culturing in the media can be done. It's many tubers and basic generation 1 and generation 0, D2. Coming to, so this one aspect we are done, that is micropropagation or meristem techniques through tissue culture. The very important aspect is aeroponics. You must have listened people about aeroponics. Aeroponics is good techniques for generating disease-free potato tubers, that are disease-free seeds. Having it several advantages such as higher multiplication rate. If you put one plantlet, you will get around. You can see on the right side how much small potatoes are there of suitable for subsequent production, around 38 to 40. If you plant one microplanted, around 48. So rate of multiplication is very high here. Avoidance of soil pathogens, its cost effectiveness, it's saving in vitro plantlet, saving water and nutrient mineral, desired size of minitubers. In next slide, I will tell how this technology will operate. So these are the why we should go for aeroponics owing to its enlisted advantages here. So what is aeroponics? It's an air mist environment for plant growth, no soil media, timely supply of nutrients in growth chamber. So on the right side, you can see a schematic representation showing the tissue culture plantlets of potato planted in chamber. Then through nozzles, water and nutrient solutions have been applied, and through its architectural design, the entire aeroponic unit operated on its what can I say better for this, that how the aeroponic units run is the mechanism behind this through its proper inputs. So what is the prerequisite for aeroponics? It's a suitable location should be there, around the clock power supply. Of course, it is fully automated. So suitable planting material of desired variety, clean water, favorable weather conditions, friend human resource, and security. These are the prerequisites of aeroponics. So material for aeroponics, you can see motor pumps, electrical components, that some polyethylene, styrofoam sheets, PVC, and bricks and tiles. So this is the pictograph of microplant transfer exercise to be done at CPRI Shimla. And two persons located at the right and left side, they are you can say 5 to 5 foot 11 inches tall. So up to their west, you can see the uh, uh, platform of that aeroponic unit. They are just planting these micro plants to the growing boxes. So after 2 weeks, you can there will be the formation of subsequent leaves followed by the stolon formation. On the right side, you can see the stolon formation. Yeah, this is the stolon formation. You can see observe under the aeroponics. This is the tuber bulking stage. This is Kofri Jyoti variety, which is a very popular variety of potato. So how these aeroponics, stepwise, we can say microplants, then to meristem tip culture, then virus indexing, then it comes to aeroponic unit, and at the end you can see the bountiful harvest of potato seed, good quality potato seed. So if what we did, we compare this advantage of aeroponics with conventional system, and we found that if you plant one tuber of conventional seed system, and if you plant one plant of aeroponics in vitro plantlet, so in 4 years, 2.3 thousand tubers through conventional approach, and in aeroponics, which is half of that, 2 years, 3.2 thousand tubers can produce through aeroponics seed production unit. So then we did some challenge studies with the help of aeroponics, how speed potato breeding can be possible. So conventional breeding and speed potato we compare, and we found that within 10 to 11 years, a new potato variety can be generated with this technology. And to conventional breeding, it will take around 13 years to develop a variety. So aeroponics is a high initial investment, of course, needless to say. And I personally did some exercises on this before putting this slide to you, that for establishment of aeroponic structure of 1000 square meter, around 2 crores is the heavy investment, but returns are good. You have to be patiently deal with this investment phase. So payback period will be for this investment is 4 to 5 years. So for 1000 square meter area, we did this exercise, and 2 crores is the investment for this establishment of 10 lakh million tuber production. That is 1 million tuber production. The coming to next is the apical rooted cutting, which is a novel seed production technology, and many of the South Indian farmers located in the Bangalore hub and Andhra hub, they are doing this IRC technology at a very large scale. And one in 2022, International Potato Center, in collaboration with GKVK Bangalore, they have set up one collaborative study, and then lab is also full-fledged. If somebody wishes to see this technology of apical rooted cutting, they may go to this GKVK campus and that SIPS labs for looking at this apical rooted cutting. So what is this apical rooted cutting? In this technique, the cuttings are rooted transplanted, producing glasses from tissue culture plants rather than allowing tissue culture to mature and produce many tubers. The cuttings are produced from the plantlet. So then once the rooted, the cuttings are transplanted into field to produce seed tubers. So healthy, you can see from left to right, healthy microplants, mother plants in nursery, apical cutting, planting of apical cutting into protrays, then series of cutting in protrays, then mass multiplication in the field. So the ARC system follows the three-stage approach: the production of cuttings in hardening chambers, then multiplication of this cutting under net house, and production of bitter seed from ARC raised tubers in the field. So we have standardized these techniques with the crop duration, agrotechnique, seed window, and some past package of practices are also done by this CPRI in collaboration with research institutions such as GKVK and SIP. So the benefits of technology is low cost and high productivity, and alternative to current aeroponics seed production. Those who can't afford aeroponics, they can go with this ARC. And fast multiplication, 1:40 is the rate as compared to 1:5 of conventional. So both apical and aeroponic cuttings involve of healthy tissue culture plantlets, and less infrastructure is required in case of apical rooted cutting. So these are the preliminary studies conducted by CPRI for validation of that apical rooted cutting technology with the varieties of such as Kufri Khyati, Himalayan, and Chandramukhi with the respective rate of multiplications. So these are the stages you can see, and the pictographs are quite clear and self-explanatory how the apical rooted cuttings performs under the net houses, and see the bumper harvest done at stations at Jalandhar. So aeroponics and apical rooted side by side, you can see the comparison. Both has their own advantages. This is the economics of apical rooted cuttings. If you go with, if you net structure and plant population, and for the total planting area of that will be, if you produce this much amount of that seedlings, it will be sufficient to cater around 33 hectares. This is the economics. So this is from the seed production technology. Coming to the varietal wealth, as I told, since 1956 to till date, that is today we are 11 March 2026. In this much years of potato journey, around 78 varieties have been developed to cater the need of Indian farming community. And some of the varieties such as Kufri, Bacha, Pukraj, has Jyoti. Now, these varieties have revolutionized the potato cultivation in India. At it covers around 30. Yeah, these slides will show what is the impact of Indian potato varieties. Around 33% of the area is governed by Kufri Pukraj, 20% Kufri Jyoti, and Kufri Bahar. So this is the important point to note, that percent of area occupied in India by these varieties. Recall back that paper, Klusterman, the categorization of early, medium, late varieties. You can see here, early variety will get ready in 70 to 80 days, medium variety 90-100 days, late variety 110 days. So processing till date, processing segment has 10 varieties, hit tolerant 6. It will come in next slide. Yeah, this is the updated chart catering the needs of different agroclimatic zones of India, early, medium, late varieties, and for hills for processing and for heat tolerant. So latestly, Kufri Tejas, Kufri Bhaskar is the heat tolerant varieties, and Kufri Cheap Bharat 1 and Cheap Bharat 2. These are the processing sector varieties. In processing variety, dry matter is important, and these two varieties possess more than 22% of dry matter, which is a quite neck to neck fight with one of the very ruling variety of potato, Lady Rosetta. So Lady Rosetta is very popular variety for processing perspective, owing to its high dry matter content. So these two varieties from Indian scenario is very important from processing perspective. So this is a global collection of potato varieties, around 5,000. Now it is around 5,000 cultivars, 4,000 to 5,000 cultivars have been reported in more than 120 countries. This is the excellent slide depicting the nutritional profiling of potatoes. Recently in 2020, Global Potato Conclave happened in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and Honorable Prime Minister of India inaugurated that very much conference. So on the on the right side, left side, you can see the performance of Kufri Lima and Kufri Surya, the heat tolerant variety, which is harvested on the 31st of January. So potato in Gujarat is also one of the key point to note. If somebody belongs to Gujarat, you can visit Disa, the potato city of India, and the how the package of practices have designer variety wise developed by that location, that farmers, that agencies. It's very worthy to see and to visit that eye-opening visits at the potato farms in Gujarat, particularly Disa. So this is some of the literature, as I told, that the Kufri, Pukra, Jyoti, Bhaskar, these are the varieties which is predominantly popular in India and across the states such as Gujarat, Karnataka, West Bengal. So coming to the my fag end of this presentation, what are the future challenges in seed production? That mushrooming tissue culture laboratories, now most of the entrepreneurs, some private sectors are investing in this tissue culturing of potatoes, and so there is a need for a standard regulatory procedure, and as a standard package of practices, increase virus accumulation in subsequent microplants, which we talked earlier, that physiological and phenotypic changes in tissue culture, increase susceptibility to biotic and abiotic stresses, of course, cross-contamination by viruses. So these are some of the future challenges. And climate change is very happening, and vector dynamic, the very important vector of viruses by aphids in potato for various viruses. These are the emerging challenges. For that, CPR has developed simulation models, and that model is adopted by farmers of Punjab, Haryana, and I'm happy to share that model has also award winning recognized by ICR, and the name of that model is Indo Blight Cast model. It is a pan India model uh, pertaining to the advisory given to how to manage lead blight and what precautions should be take before the arrival of lead blight, at what time spray should be done, and when to harvest the commodity is all the components of that Indo blight cast models. So these are some future strategy: development of seed village concept, adoption of low cost techniques, and special seed transport system, creation of cold stores. Of course, cold stores are increasing day by days, and the cause of concern with cold store is the huge investment and the carbon footprints generated by the cold store. We need standard package of practices to curb the emissions put up by the cold stores, and government subsidy and potato seed to farm. So these are some possible solutions with the help of cooperative help of state funding agencies and cooperatives. So we can very much be possibles with the potato seed production. So net house, ARC based aeroponics, these three models we learn. And of course, if somebody wants to get really into this business, then there are certain SOPs and guidelines and some skills trainings which are very much happening in India. So thank you. With this, you can note down my number, my email ID, and I'm happy to take the questions. Thank you. I'm well ahead of time.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, sir.
There are some questions. Yes, questions are there inside chat box.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, for heavy rainfall and high humidity areas of Goa climate, good question. We have varieties such as Kufri Surya, Kufri Lima, and if water scare is the region, water scare is the place, a Kufri Thar series, Kufri Thar 1, Thar 2, and Thar 3 varieties have been developed and popularized in the Rajasthan as well as. I forgot to mention here that for Rajasthan also we have developed varieties with Kufri Thar series, and the performance also evaluated well ahead. How to popularize the techniques like aeroponics among farmers? Is it feasible for small farmers to use it? Small farmers